let's sing our opening hymn. Where do we come from? As we get into the mode of asking the questions, I think something we do very well is we ask questions. This will be a round. You'll see each part there, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can choose any one of those after we sing through the whole thing together as one unit, one unified unison sound. Again, just choose whatever line feels connecting to your soul here this morning. Go ahead and rise as you're in your spirit. And again, we'll sing through the whole thing together. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Again. Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Everyone, pick a part. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we All right, y'all. We're going to prepare for the question box today. This will give me a meat of what will be the sermon today. If you should have received a note card, and a pen as you entered. If you didn't, there should be writing tools and note cards and a seat up here for you, and/or Fern will bring some in. So over the next minute or so, I'd like you to think about a question you want to ask me. This question can be a question about my life, my story, my family, my history. It can be a question about theology, about you history. It can be a question about the function of this church, if you're curious about a thing. Generally, these are good faith questions. We're just curiosity. That's the name of the game today. If you have a curiosity, follow it. And we're going to put all of these, once you write them, into the question box. Ooh. And notice there's nothing on it, because it's a mystery. Life is a mystery. It's true. I do hope that as you write your questions, that you will write your name. We don't do anonymity here, generally. There will be one exception to that, which I may go into a little bit later. But for today, if you have a question and submit the question, go ahead and include your name also, because we want to know who it came from and where did it come from. Let's take a few moments to write, and after you do, go ahead and pass your cards to the center and we will collect them into our question box. I see most faces looking up. I'll know if it's been done. Again, if you're done, go ahead and pass it to the center. That way I'll know that we're basically done.
I don't know how to turn it up. Is there anybody else who's done TED Deck before? Here. You can ask him, maybe. Yeah, and somebody else said that too. And I don't know what to do. Do you think it's select a speaker? This is same system. Is this also supposed to be same system?
Oh, getting heavy. Any more outstanding out there?
What?
If there are any more out there that haven't gotten into the box today, we'll continue to retrieve those.
Okay, well, I'm gonna choose back to what it was.
But for now, let's enter into our time of prayer and meditation, which will also be our moment for choices scholars today. We're going to combine them. This is actually going to practice what we'll do on first Sundays going forward, where we'll kind of combine these two things into one. So, in a moment, I'll ask folks to call out a name or short phrase of something that you'd like us to hold today as a community. Something that you'd like the universe to hold and know and share with you, whether it's something that we're reading or something that we're celebrating. It's all part of our whole lives. And then we'll follow that with a long moment of silence. Joseph will close out the moment with some reflective music. So as we enter this moment, as we do for this portion of our service, go ahead and ground yourself physically, whatever that means for you, whatever allows you to be most present, most here, most together. Close your eyes if you'd like, or not. Spirit of life, love, that mystery beyond beyond all understanding, yet beckons us toward you nonetheless. Please hold all that we carry in our lives along with us. Take just a little bit of the weight off of our shoulders. And may there just be a moment of joy that is shared beyond us for whatever we celebrate this morning. Hear now all that we call out into this space in the universe.
Joy of seeing old friends.
Caring for others.
Health.
Not a victim. Then.
Love.
Painful work. Hope. Ancestors. Being faithful.
Musical jokes are indeed something to celebrate.
Okay. We got that at least.
This week isn't alone in being full of questions. I love Question Box Sunday, but I kind of think most Sundays at our UU church as being question forward. I've shared before that the very first UU sermon I heard over 10 years ago was about questioning if there is a God. And maybe even questioning why or if that answer matters. I love the Unitarian Universalist faith because it embraces the unknown, the mystery, the pause between asking and knowing. It lives in that space, and that's where we do our best work. Living in the questions is what allows us to honor pluralism and all the different paths we travel, without insisting on there being only one answer. Living in the questions is what inspires our work for equity and justice, because it encourages us to ask, why are things the way they are? And what if they were different? Living in the questions doesn't mean never getting answers, though. Some questions do have an answer. Like, why do we take time each service for the offering? We collect an offering every week because it allows us to keep this building available to us and to all of the many groups and organizations across the CSRA. We collect it to pay our staff and support our programs and to give back to those in need. And we give to it as a sign of our commitment and faith in beloved community. We give because we believe this is an important place for our souls and spirits to be nourished. As we ask the question of generosity, and you offer your answer, know that cash and checks are gratefully received, or you may use text to give using the information on the screen. Would the ushers please come forward? Thank you so much for your generosity.
Y'all, you know that I love a script. So coming up here with nothing in my hands feels curious. But I also do improv, so let's just practice some improv. I'm also going to do this a little bit differently than I normally have. Generally, I would have spent the last couple of minutes kind of quickly organizing the questions into kind of categories and kind of answering one question that kind of encompassed multiple, so I can address more questions throughout. But today conversation, and Janeya is going to pull cards at random from the box, ask them on behalf of you, and we'll see where we go.
First question. Okay, your first question, do you like church? And that I believe says Nabi.
Nabi, right? Good question. Yes. I'll elaborate a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I have chosen to spend my life serving the world through a church setting. I think it's a lovely place, and an effective place to really impact the world, and to have and build strong relationships with people that, again, ultimately have a net positive impact on the world. So I love being here, even when I'm frustrated sometimes. I love being here. Thanks for asking.
I think these are potentially asking the same thing. Ruth asks, where will he go? And Andrea asks, do Unitarians believe in hell or heaven or afterlife?
So, if it is both the eschatological question of what happens after, I think it depends on the person. I will speak for myself. I don't care. What I care about is what we can achieve here, now, on this planet. And I do believe, again, that it's worth trying to achieve love unity, like I would consider heaven on earth, during this lifetime. If I have other chances, awesome. If I get to spend life in bliss, awesome. I just don't care. That's my personal choice. But as Unitarians and Universalists, we have a variety of theological viewpoints that include what happens in the afterlife, if there is an afterlife. I think a fair amount of folks here in this space probably share my opinion and my apathy about the after, or they look forward to nothingness in bliss, the bliss of nothingness, which I also think can be kind of a beautiful idea. But for me, again, I'll try to speak for myself. This is it. This is what we got. Thank you for those questions.
You use are covenantal. We often say things like all are welcome. That can't be fully true. Who isn't welcome and why?
It's a really great question. In our bylaws, we have an inclusivity clause, which states pretty clearly that anybody who enters into this space who shares our values is very much welcome here. One of the phrases from seminary that is quoted a lot among my colleagues is, all people are welcome, all beliefs, all behaviors, more importantly, are not. If you come here and you come here in good faith in a way that honors the relationality that we try to nurture here, centering those folks who in life and historically have been pushed to the margins, who are exploited, who generally are powerless within the system of life that we exist in here in the United States and this planet. If your interest is to center those folks with the idea of equity, which is very important for us, and then ultimately expand that circle outward, I'm so happy you're here. And if you come here and you want to say that folks with a different amount of pigment in their skin, or folks who love people of the same gender, or folks who disregard gender as the construct that it is. If you are against those things, we're probably not going to be the place for you. And if you behave on those things in a way that is hurtful, you will almost certainly be asked to leave.
Something a little lighter. Who's better, Spider-Man or Thanos? That's from Jude.
Okay, Jude, that's a good question, man. So, are you talking ethically, morally? Are you talking with gauntlet or without gauntlet?
We're just talking about like
Better character? Oh, easily Spider-Man in Earth 616. Nerd. Does that answer your question? Okay.
You got a second one, by the way.
Follow up?
Yeah, well,
Oh, I'm reading that next. Elisha asks, could someone like the Punisher be a good UU, all things considered?
No. The Punisher doesn't value human life.
he doesn't know that.
All life is valuable.
Does UU cover any Buddhist traditions from Palin?
What do you mean by cover?
I guess like in general.
Are you asking if we study it, or are you asking if it is infused into who we are? I just want to make sure that I understand.
I guess like do we study it
Good question. So actually, just a few weeks ago, I had a lovely conversation with Natalia Bowden about what constitutes God in at least her understanding of Buddhist tradition. And we had a lovely conversation about how that essentially the interconnection that is inherent in Buddhism belief, which I believe is inherent in reality, and also is core to what we as UUs might call interdependence, is the notion of God for her. That was one area where we have explored it. But as pluralists, does everyone know what the word pluralist or pluralism means? Raise your hand if you don't. Just okay? No shame here. Okay, so pluralism is basically it's a variety of beliefs with a shared goal. And so within Unitarian Universalism, within this church, we have a variety of beliefs about the divine, about theology, about what reality is on the larger scope. Those are very complex discussions that we can have here. The goal for us is about what we can achieve together. So that's what pluralism is. And as pluralism is inherent in who we are, as one of our values, we will absolutely at least touch on various beliefs from time to time. I have a tattoo here that is inspired by a very famous stained glass window in Rockford, Illinois, at the UU Church of Rockford. It's called the Renberg window. I did adjust it slightly for my personal preferences, which I guess the owner of the copyright was a little grumpy about me, but whatever. That kind of shows that all the world traditions are sources of inspiration and knowledge and wisdom for us, including this garmobile, which represents Buddhism. And then, at least for me, because I'm a Unitarian Universalist, I have our chalice symbol in the center. So yes, the answer is yes. We will move through the topic of Buddhism from time to time, and I think it is an important worldview for a lot of folks in this room.
We have a couple more that are, I think, similar. Sai asks, what do you think is the most pressing issue that is affecting the congregation spiritually? And Melissa asks, what is the biggest challenge in our UUA church right now? So some of the challenges and what's affecting
questions, tough questions. I think spiritually and pragmatically are all wrapped up. I am not a dualist. And what that means is I believe that the material and the spiritual are one. I think that I would say something, a through line between most UU congregations that I think is a challenge for us is the tension between the individual and the community. And historically, within the last basically 100 years, maybe 106 years-ish, the Unitarian Universalist movement, first Unitarians and Universalists, then Unitarian Universalists in Conversion 1961, have moved toward, have kind of privileged the individualist side of things. And there is now a strong kind of response to that from every level of the Unitarian Universalist tradition here in the United States to rebalance us toward that true tension between the individual and the community. I personally feel like every only thing that matters ever is relationship. And that's very simplistic, but ultimately everything you do should have relationship in mind. That to me is the path toward wholeness, the path toward the loving community here on this planet. And I believe that relationship honors the individuality, but not necessarily individualism. The ism is the part that I think is problematic, that you're constantly kind of a little bit more than a tug of war with. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Going in a different direction. Why are dogs our best friends?
Anthropologically, or I'll give you the answer that I know best. I should have said that differently. I don't know it best among all of us. It's the answer that I think makes the most sense based on what I know. A very long time ago, wolves figured out that the best way for them to succeed and to evolve in a way that got them what they needed was to be friendly. And there is so much wisdom from our canine cousins in that regard. If you're just friendly, it's more likely you'll survive and get more So the humans figure that out, spend some more time, they became domesticated over millennia, and that's where we are now. Does that answer? Oh. All right. Oh, help. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
All right. Be friendly.
Yes. What is our personal responsibility for being anti-racist, anti-fascist, anti-oppression? Our personal responsibility for
That's a good question. I think real change in society comes from intentional choices made by the individual. And this is maybe seems like it's pushing back against what I just said, and we still have agency. We still have the power to make choices and affect our own lives. And that's where that interdependence comes into play. We are not without some power to transform ourselves, and by transforming ourselves, the within of us, that we start to impact the among of us, and then that kind of resonates out beyond us. The circle keeps widening, as it were. And I think that shared accountability is something that is super, super important. That it's not just personal ourselves accountable within community, within relationship, to the values that we espouse. That being said, I did mention earlier that I would maybe circle back to when an anonymous question would be okay. We are going to start a white ally meeting every month here. A white European American caucus where we can explore the tough questions and not put the onus of growing on BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, and other folks with oppressed identities. So we can ask the questions and wrestle with them without, once again, putting the labor of that growth on the folks most impacted by the systems that cause those inequities and injustices. So I invite you to come to those meetings if you are not a person of color. You're invited if you're a person of color. Just know that you might experience some challenging conversations. That's definitely your call. We will never say no to you attending. It's just, this is going to be a space where people can ask, as Gayla Kesey puts it, some stupid questions. That is going to be exactly why we're going to do these questions anonymously. Because in that space, we don't want anyone to feel the shame of asking what may be a challenging question that could be hurtful, that may show a lot of developmental edge. That will be the way that we structure those. So stay tuned for more information about those conversations. We really, really want everyone who is not a person of color to attend at least one of those a year, because it is such an important part of who we are as Unitarian Universalists and how we want to change the world. Does that answer the question? Okay. Interesting and anonymous one.
This kind of follows that, as far as difficult conversations from Robert, kind of picking one of the options. What is a sermon you want to give but can't? I'm curious if you haven't. It's like, feel like you've given them some of those sermons. Oh, everyone's interested.
Jerk. So honestly, I'm very fortunate in this space. I have never felt really truly unable to talk about a thing. That's not always the case in every Unitarian Universalist congregation. Sometimes there are congregations that are a little bit more reticent to enter into the challenge. That has not been the case here, barring one subject. The one subject that I've ever gotten pushback on in a sermon that I've offered here was about polyamory. It was the one subject that I heard from folks who I thought were basically like cool with anything, who said that this isn't the time for this, that I thought this was a mistake, when there's other things going on, why are we talking about this? And I think that it is the next frontier in the queering of love that we as UUs have to wrestle with.
Just want to do a time check.
Let's do one more question.
Okay. So,
Make it fun.
yes, I think I'm going to do these. I'm also going to pair these. Irene and Azaria were asking, when you were a kid, what did you want to be as an adult? And Azaria asked, if you didn't work as a minister or opera singer, what would you want to do? So those might have some overlaps as well.
Though I think those things, they overlap a little bit. When I was a kid, music was my life. It was first trumpet and then classical singing. I have way too much education and way too much education debt for all of that, but it's still very much an important part of my life. Opera singing itself was never the thing that I loved. I love music and singing, and there are other ways of singing that are more meaningful and feel better for me. It would be really, really also am pretty drawn toward changing the world in some way, regardless of what that medium may be. Something resembling sociology or counseling of some kind, and maybe I'd have fun being a teacher. Okay, I got a thumbs up. I feel like there should be one more fun question, one more
So, okay,
pithy.
well, so here's something we can help Sophie out. Is 6th grade hard?
Yes. And community is what gets you through the hard things. So I hope you're finding your people, because that's the only way to get through anything is in relationship, in community, in love. So I hope you got it. I hope you're ready, folks. And I hope all of you have your folks. I think we have our folks right here.
With you guys and by your spirit closing this week will be, since this is new, all the way through.
Can you remove the captions, please?
Yes, I think.
And just so you know, there are some physical changes happening in here. You notice the bigger TV here. We're going to move this TV to a hanging monitor here so that you all can see that better. And eventually, in our capital campaign, my hope and goal is to get rid of this wall altogether, increase the size of the sanctuary, and have a much bigger TV back there so we can get more people in here because we're filling up every weekend. We'll figure out a new hiding place. Because this is a new hymn for all of us, Joseph's going to play through the whole thing once. He's going to get it here. Next slide, just for now.
Let me know when. The first one.
Tell me what you believe. Can you help me see what you see? Why do we all gather in this place? Christ, your saving grace. We believe in justice. We believe in equity. We believe in compassion. stay risen in body or spirit for one moment as I share our closing words by Barbara Cheatham, entitled Bring Happiness. And now we take our leave. Before we gather here again, may each of us bring happiness into another's life. May we each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity. And may we remain together in spirit till the hour we meet again. Blessed be.
I collect the ones they got up there too.
So,